Fitting sit skis. Sit skis are fully adjustable without the need of wrenches or other tools. However, a small wrench may be needed to check nuts and bolts. Instructors should be entirely familiar with all adjustments and run a check on the specific sit ski they are taking out for prior to fitting a skier. As described above, skiers should be comfortable, warm, and fitted in an appropriate athletic manner. Introducing the equipment. Before fitting students into a sit ski, be sure to do the following. Evaluate the student's strength, range of motion, balance, cognitive abilities, medications, and ability to feel pressure and cold. This can be accomplished as data information forms and releases are being filled out and signed. See Chapter 2. Explain functional aspects of the sit ski, poles, and other devices, and the importance of layering and hydration. Demonstrate how the seat and straps hold the skier snugly and securely. Emphasize the importance of a fit that is comfortable and avoids abrasions or pressure injuries. Explain the purpose of the fore-aft tethering system and describe their uses. Demonstrate the use of the poles and the proper grip adjustments. Have a plan for transferring the student to and from the sit ski. Students will probably be able to accomplish a transfer from wheelchair to sit skis themselves with some stabilization by the instructor. Students should generally not be lifted or carried. Flatland drills. This progression can take many outings to complete depending on skier's proficiency. Emphasize proper fit for comfort, security, and performance with adjustments as necessary to refine the fit. Familiarize the student with the equipment and how to achieve and maintain balance, see above. Help the student achieve an athletic stance that is skeletally aligned, slightly flexed and balanced, with the poles in a parallel position. Work on body position and balance by placing the poles or hands on the snow and then at the sides. Relax the arms and keep the elbows unlocked, shoulders relaxed, head up and eyes forward. Roll back and forth from one ski to another, rotating the upper body left and right and swinging the arms toward and back in opposition and together. Teach how to move about in a perfectly flat area with minimal skier traffic and good smooth grooming, and with and without tracks. It may be necessary to initially to help with turning and exiting the tracks. Help the student become more familiar with the equipment and learn practical methods for balancing and moving around on flat snow. Demonstrate how to push forward using double poling and diagonal poling techniques. Watch for A-framing. Keep the poles parallel to the rig. Demonstrate how to push backward by placing the pole tips forward and then angle towards the footrest. Teach the student to lean from side to side using hands and or poles for support. Explore fore-aft, side-to-side balancing movements. Have the student plant the poles evenly with the knees and with the arms slightly bent. The student then collapses the body onto the poles, which propels the sit ski forward. The hands then move back toward the path and past the hips and return to the starting position with the body upright again. Let the student become familiar with braking on slight declines by dragging hands or pole grips and by putting the pressure on the pole baskets and tips. Falling should not be practiced until the instructor is familiar with the student and sure of their ability to take a bump and have the strength to help themselves up. Practice falling and getting up with support. The student should not try to break a fall and should reach arms and poles up and away to avoid having them pinned under the frame. After falling, the student's poles are placed uphill with the sit ski across the fall line. For returning to an upright position with support, the instructor places the uphill ski boot against the upper ski near the balance point and pulls the skier into an upright position. To get up unassisted, the student places the sit ski across the fall line with both poles uphill. The uphill hand is placed close to the body on the snow. Downhill pole is pressed against the torso and at a 45-degree angle to provide final leveraging. The uphill hand first pushes off the snow, followed by the final push, with pole hand that brings the sit ski to an upright position. Teach how to turn by skidding in the sit ski in a circle using asymmetric pole pushes and body movements. Demonstrate hop turns, small lifts or pops to lift and turn the whole sit ski. The student extends quickly from a slouched position while pushing vertically with the poles, which lifts the chair. This maneuver is also necessary for the skier to exit set tracks. Review stopping in a hurry. If a hazard lies ahead that cannot be negotiated while moving down the trail, yell, "Fall down," and have a student fall feet first to avoid a head injury. Always emphasize throwing the arms and poles away from the body to avoid pinning arms under the sit ski frame or breaking poles. Advanced holding motions. Refine gliding, propulsion, and direction change. The goal is rhythmic flow of movement and ability to change direction. Pole grips next to the hips, short stroke, high cadence. Center of mass stays centered, short little pushes, good for climbing hills. Helps keep from sliding backwards. Pole grips between the knees and hips, long stroke, slow cadence. Note skiers with higher spinal cord injuries that will be wearing a higher supportive chest strap will not be able to hinge at the waist and reach forward with the poles and upper body. Poles reach, bend at the waist, shoulders come forward, then come back to hips with a push. Poles lifted through parallel to rig, then return to reach position. Center of mass moves forward by bending at the waist and bringing shoulders forward, then returns to center or over hips when push is completed. Good when traveling on flat or up gentle hills. Have the student aim to establish a rhythm. This develops flow, good pacing, and retention of speed. With hand and pole, pressure snow to create differential friction to turn rig. To change direction or avoid sliding down a side hill, drag the hand on the side toward the direction of intended travel and use the opposite pole to stab out laterally. This will help the sit ski turn to avoid sliding. Body will be slightly tilted in the direction of the turn with a slight bend at the waist. Focus on double and alternate pulling. In conclusion, instructors should practice all of these techniques among themselves before working with students with disabilities. Adaptive cross-country skiing opens new horizons for skiers and will continue to evolve. Instructors should be patient, encouraging, and innovative in their approach. Primarily, skiing should always be fun.